Hi friends, thanks for joining us on another TNT. It's Tuesday morning and we've got quite a few stories to follow up from yesterday, certainly in regards to the story about the Navy ship. And the main feature of the story about the Navy ship that I have to report this morning is the complete lack of information, which I think is fairly shameful. Now, this story is from the Bangkok Post, and it says the Navy ship sinks in storm, 31 sailors missing. Now, other media sources say they were found, other ones say it's 33. I mean, there's a complete schmozzle as far as the information is concerned. And the main reason is the Navy just aren't saying much. Let's go to the parts of the story we know. An air and sea search continued yesterday for 31 missing sailors from the HTMS Sukhothai, which sank in a storm in the Gulf of Thailand on Sunday night. That occurred around about 11:30 p.m. Reports carried by several news outlets that 10 of the missing men had been found and one was dead were denied by the Navy. It appeared more than one ship had sunk in the storm, and we'll cover that a little bit later on the program. The reported Navy survivors found by a patrol boat were crew from a cargo ship, and down the bottom there, the HTMS Sukhothai, a Ratanakosin class corvette, sank during a storm off the coast of Prachuap Khiri Khan. Of course, people would know Hua Hin from that province. This paragraph with at least some sort of explanation. The Sukhothai suffered a power blackout, the main engine stopped functioning, and the ship floundered out of control. More water flowed into the vessel, which began listing severely. Listing means it's tipping over. Now, I just did a few checks. This boat, a frigate, is 76 metres long. This is a big ship. That's 252 feet. And the waves were reported to be around about 3 to 4 metres. Now, more about this, let's check this bit of video. This is some video taken from the ship as people were evacuating. And of course, good to see everybody wearing life vests there. But more questions are coming up than answers at the moment. Just in that video alone, do you want to just check it again? The seas certainly didn't look like they were 3 to 4 metres. So these people are probably getting into the lifeboat on what we call the leeward side of the vessel. So the bad weather's on the other side, and a 252-foot long boat might indeed be protecting them from the worst of the waves where they're getting into the boat. Glad to see them all wearing life jackets. So I think at the moment we need to understand we really don't know what happened. The fact that the Navy have said very little, I think, is ominous. And now, a day and a half after the incident, it could be that these 31 to 33 missing crew may have been lost. Now, we don't know otherwise at the moment. I think that is a problem. Now, of course, the water in the Gulf of Thailand is quite warm. And their survivability in those waters could be, a number of days because most of them apparently reported to have been wearing life preservers. But 3 to 4 metres, whilst big waves, they're not that close together. And the bigger the waves get, the further the waves are apart. I've been in up to at least 8-metre waves down the south coast of Tasmania, in the Southern Ocean, surfing down some enormous waves, at least 8 metres, doing about 20 to 22 knots at the time in a 40-foot ocean racing yacht. And that was pretty, terrifying at the time, but sort of fun as well. But, I mean, this boat obviously got into a degree of difficulty that we don't fully understand. And a lot of the comments, I think, have been ingenuous because we really don't know what happened. And I think we probably just need to wait it out before we start speculating what we think happened. Let's wait and see what the Navy told us what happened. Let's check from Thai PBS and their version of this story, see if we can find out any other information. Thai Navy vessel with crew of 106 sinks in rough seas off in the Gulf of Thailand. The Royal Thai Navy confirmed that there were enough life vests on board the ill-fated Sukhothai for the whole crew, adding that 33 sailors who are yet to be rescued are believed to have drifted in different directions, but the rough seas have made it impossible for small boats to reach them. Well, certainly not big boats, and there are plenty of big boats that could have been heading out there directly to join in that particular search. But again, I'm just speculating myself, and I shouldn't be, because I'm sure every effort is being made. But just that sentence there saying that they think they would have drifted in different directions is a sort of a sign of throwing their arms up, saying they don't really know where they are at the moment. So that's the update as far as I can give you, because there simply isn't. And I spent an hour searching before dawn this morning for any additional information about those missing crew. This is the TNT program on a Tuesday morning, and continuing with our nautical theme. Before we do, though, we should also thank our nautical sponsor, 5 Star Marine. Today, looking out the window, I can see blue skies and a bit of scattered cloud around Phuket, but I know in other parts of the southern areas in Thailand, the weather is a lot worse, and hopefully everybody is coping with that. But continuing with the nautical theme in the news, a ferry vessel has been bombed in Yangon. Yangon is the former sort of largest city in Myanmar. It used to be called Rangoon during the time the British were there. And a bomb went off at 6:45 on, that would be Sunday, on the busy Cherry ferry that transports commuters between Dala Township and the downtown Pansodan port in Yangon. 10 people were hurt in that bomb. Another story with a nautical theme: an oil tanker ran aground near Songkhla beach. Cargo ship sinks off Sukhothai. So 2 boats also getting into trouble in the Gulf of Thailand over the past few days. Let's check the details. An oil tanker ran aground on the coast of Thailand's southern province, and a cargo ship capsized in the seas off Sukhothai province on Sunday. Initial reports say that the captain and 8 crew members of the cargo ship managed to escape their sinking vessel, and they were taken to hospital. The third paragraph, the report says the 2,037-ton oil tanker was not carrying any fuel as it was anchored. The anchor chain broke, however, and the vessel was swept towards the shore by strong winds and rough seas until it ran aground. The company which owns the oil tanker has asked for tugboats to help tow the boat back out to sea. Let's check off the one that sank off Sukhothai now, and I've highlighted there the paragraph. An SOS signal was received by a ground station from the cargo ship Santad Samutsong, which was carrying 36 containers of rubber timber and 10 crew, and it was heading for Lam Shabang, which is the largest port in Thailand, just sort of north of the Pattaya area. And the ship sank in the Gulf of Thailand off the Chaya district. The cause of the vessel's problems is not yet known. Again, a lack of information. What is wrong with the marine authorities that they can't seem to get, in the period of some 24 hours, any accurate information? Even if they say, we're not 100% sure yet, it would be great to know just something about all these ships that are sinking in the Gulf of Thailand at the moment. Anyway, let's go to some happier stories. And the Bangkok Post reporting that Thailand leads BBC travel destination poll. Thailand's viewed as the most popular destination to visit in Southeast Asia for visitors planning a trip from North America and Europe. All told, 57.4% of global respondents who are intending to travel to Southeast Asia said they're likely to visit Thailand. And down the bottom there, visitors to Southeast Asia are often experienced world travellers. Doesn't that make you feel good? And they tend to plan to stay for at least 1 to 2 weeks, preferring self-planned trips to package deals. That's certainly been the trend over the past 10 years, that a lot of people now with the app generation are able to book their own holidays, their own accommodation, their own tours, and they're doing so. And a few other notes there. The second paragraph, the survey found that 4 in 5 Europeans who plan to visit Southeast Asia said they plan to embark on the trip within the next 6 months. 91% of respondents are looking for unique culture and heritage, and 72% of travellers are conscious of minimising their impact on the local environment. And that from BBC Global Minds. and they have 19,000 profiled members. Okay, just going to a bit of politics now. I know some of you hate politics, but it is so important at the moment because some of the parties are aligning themselves with certain policies, some of which affect you. So you need to know who is likely to be elected. Let's look at the latest news in that regard. And Prawit is the sole PM choice for Palang Pracharat. Prawit Wongsuwon, who was the stand-in Prime Minister. He's still a Deputy Prime Minister as well. And he was also famous for wearing those watches. He's got a pretty chunky watch on there. So still wearing those luxury watches. I think he's about 77 years old. He's certainly getting on, but a wealth of experience, and was a very close and loyal buddy of the current Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. That seems to be changing as we just sift through some of the news. So just going to read this second paragraph pretty much in full. The revelation about the proposal, that's the proposal to make Prawit the sole Prime Ministerial candidate for the party, follows a previous statement made by Minkwon Sangsawan, the former leader of the New Economist Party, who joined the ruling party earlier this month. Upon announcing that he'd officially joined, he told the press that General Prawit had promised to nominate him as one of the party's prime ministerial candidates, which instantly drew criticism from some key figures. We didn't know that. So it looks like there are machinations and knives out. The Palang Pracharat, the current ruling party in the coalition, falling apart with a lot of its members now defecting to Bumjai Thai as well as other parties. There's not really going to be much of them left. And the current Thai Prime Minister, Prayut Chan-o-cha, is also going to be the prime ministerial candidate for another Conservative Party. I'm not exactly sure how many members have joined that at the moment, but there's not that many members left in Parliament as they all resigned to join and align themselves with other parties leading up to the election. And just another indication of the instability since the party has made it clear now that General Prawit will be nominated as the sole prime ministerial candidate. I have no idea if Mr. Minkwon will stay or leave. I think he'll probably leave. And in another development, just further on in that story, the Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha yesterday hinted in an interview that General Prawit had actually said all that needed to be said about General Prayut's political future with the Palang Pracharat. In other words, there is no future when they hit the next election. They've still got 3 or 4 months to go, though, so all smiles in Parliament, I'm sure, until the knives are out during the election campaign. A foreign motorist was killed after colliding with a power pole in Pattaya, severely injuring another foreign pedestrian. This story from the PattayaNews.com. And the story says a foreign motorcycle rider was killed following a collision with a power pole in Soi Buakhao at 1 a.m. That was on yesterday morning. The deceased rider also caused severe injuries to another foreign tourist. They've not been identified at this time. And just down the bottom there, it says their nationalities were unclear. So hope that other foreigner recovers well, and we still don't know their nationalities. We'll bring that information to you if we find out. Other good news, though, from Patong in Phuket, and these are the repairs to the damaged road. Looks like going fairly well, and the road now much wider. They've taken out some of the tightness in the road, and it looks like motorists have been test driving that patch of road. And they said they'd get it ready by Christmas, and it looks like they will. They've now just got to get the final top on the road and get the lines on. Not that the lines usually mean very much, but it looks like those repairs have been done, and done from what we can see fairly well. And the fact that that road is now, I think, up to 4 metres wider in places is probably a good thing in the long run. So some good news there from Phuket for that important road into the party town of Patong, which is absolutely packed at the moment as we lead up to Christmas. Unfortunately, over on the other side of the peninsula, red flags up in Koh Samui beaches as strong winds make sea dangerous. Beachfront hotels in Koh Samui have put up red flags warning visitors against getting into the sea due to the strong winds and waves, and they're reporting those waves up to 2 to 4 metres high as well. And in Bangkok yesterday, according to The Nation, fire damaged a 40th floor condo unit on the banks of the Chao Phraya. And the first lot of images coming out yesterday with smoke billowing out of a condo. It didn't look well, but luckily it was confined to one room. Police reported damage to the property, but there were no casualties. Here's a picture inside the damaged bedroom. There in the condo unit, so it's obviously fairly well destroyed, but good to see that the fire didn't spread and they had it under control apparently in about 15 minutes. To the south, and 3 have been killed as heavy rains swamp the south of Thailand. The Nation reporting that 3 people have died in floods from heavy rains unleashed by strong monsoon in the south. And the second paragraph there, I suppose, showing us the extent of the floods. 51,543 families in 1,028 villages of Suratani, Nakhon Tamarat, Trang, Patalung, Satun, Songkhla, Patani, Yala and Narathiwat are underwater. And the rains are expected to continue until at least Tuesday. Let's hope they are abating today. Just again reporting that we're lucky here on the Andaman coast to have fairly blue skies and moderate northeasterly winds. A photo here of the emergency responders giving some help to the people there, at least giving them a feed until those waters get a bit lower. And with that, hopefully that brings you up to date with some of the main stories around Thailand today. Weather, again, dominating the news, and the lack of information about those missing sailors from the Royal Thai Navy. So our best wishes to the people who are searching for those today. Let's hope there is some sort of break in the weather and that they can find the rest of them alive. Although, as I suggested earlier, the fact that there hasn't been much news at all in the past 24 hours, I think, is a bad sign. But fingers crossed for some happy news perhaps today. And with that, thank you for joining TNT. Please subscribe to the channel on your way out, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.